So this picture has been making rounds for some time now. Cubana chief priest kneeling down for the vice president of Nigeria. I see a lot of people say things like, "How can an Igbo man kneel down for a Fulani man? What does that even mean? What is it trying to do? What is it trying to get?" Some other persons also hailed that, well, this is totally different ways of respect or showing respect to someone. It's not necessarily a big issue. And I'm even so pained that he went on as far as locking his comment section when he posted that particular picture. I don't just know the level of mediocrity that we have in this country. How mediocre can we really be in things and terms like this? How mediocre can we really be? How does this even make any sense to anybody? Okay, so Cubana chief priest visited the vice president with the video, and then in trying to greet the vice president, he decides to kneel down, and then everybody is going haywire. How does that affect anything? And I'll speak to this issue in two different ways. One, what is wrong with greeting somebody by kneeling down? There are people who lie down to greet somebody or to even show a level of respect to someone. There are some people who go down with 1 foot when they are greeting somebody. There are some others who bow when they are greeting somebody who they feel is higher than them, whether they are in position or something. There's also people who, do different things. There are several things people do when they meet people who they perceive to be higher than them, or perceived to be better than them, or even perceived to have to be in position. For crying out loud, vice president is the vice president. Shettima is the vice president of Nigeria. Vice president, the number 2 man, irrespective of where he is from, whether he's the Kanuri, he's Fulani, he's Hausa, he's Igbo, he's Yoruba. He is the vice president, number 2 man politically in Nigeria. You cannot wish away his position. You cannot write Nigeria's political landscape right now without writing him, without putting him on the scale of things. Even though you could say, well, yeah, it's only a spare tire, whatever, man. Oh well, spare tire. Some people will say that he referred to the former vice president as a ice cream seller or something. But that aside, I frankly don't see a reason why we should be regurgitating or masturbating about somebody's decision to greet another person in the way and manner they are comfortable with. What is wrong with that? And I see a tweet from Igbo history on Twitter, Igbo history, where they were saying something like, an Igbo man doesn't kneel to another man. I'm like, since when? Who is the one doing? Who wrote the history book? Who is more Igbo than the other? Should we give instances? What do you mean by the Igbo man doesn't kneel down to greet us? I don't understand how. Yes, Igbo man naturally, you could say that they are Republicans in nature. An Igbo man wants to stand up to his own family, to stand up to his own culture, stand up to his own, tradition, and he does not subserve himself to some other person. He doesn't, relinquish his authority to some other person. He would like to be seen as the head of his own home, and he's not a bandwagon follower. He tries to think through certain issues, and then take decisions based on his conviction, not based on what everybody does, on how people perceive him. He tries to take decision for himself. And that thought about Igbo and Weze, Igbos don't have kings, always crop up when issues like this come up, because like you cannot be a king and now take a decision that everybody in Igbo land would accept, they would also have their divergent views. Unlike in the north where you have an emir, or when you have, the chief of the town says one thing and everybody aligns. It's not the same thing for Igbo people. You are a king, right, of the community, no problem. But you are the king of the community. Don't impose, certain things to everybody, because not everybody will accept it. And when they don't accept it, don't force them to accept it. The only time we had that thing where one person speaks and everybody aligns, well, most people aligned, is actually during Odumegwu Ojukwu period, way before the war. That was the reason why he was even pushed. And by the way, let me state this clearly, that Ojukwu did not go into that war on his own, like on his own volition, like that he wanted to go to war. He was propped up and even pushed by the Igbo leaders at that time. So he wasn't like his decision, okay, you know what, since I have an issue with Gowon, I'm going to go all out. Okay, they're killing my people in the north, and I can't take this, I have to do the needful. No, he wasn't the only person taking the decision. He had a group of Igbo leaders who propped him up. If they didn't agree, he wouldn't have gone on that war. If there was no overwhelming support for him to go on with that war, he wouldn't have been able to do that. But after that war, because of the whole thing that happened, from then on, nobody, some people would say that is when we had these divisions, that you take a decision on your own and don't think that everybody's going to follow you. Even governors today, if governors come out and drop some policies that are not right, that seem not to be, something that would favor the common Igbo man, nobody would listen to him. You are governor, and that's it. You're not feeding me. That's what an Igbo man does. You are not feeding me. They feed me. So they tell me what to do. So if I say this is what I want to do, allow me do what I want to do. Do you understand? I mean, go around. That's what the average Igbo man is. He's independent. He's cosmopolitan. He's Republican in thinking, in nature. So you can't toss him around anyhow. So when you want to take a decision, make sure you bring everybody together and speak about this and tell them the reasons why you are taking this decision. That is an Igbo man for you. So however somebody decides to greet somebody shouldn't be an issue. Should be the least thing we should be thinking or talking about. Cubana chief priest knelt down with the vice president, and then it became a headline, became an issue. It became that Igbo man don't kneel down. It's a lie. Igbo still prostrates in Lagos. People still greet people however you want it, but that they're kneeling down for you does not mean that they are conquered people or they don't have their mind of their own. Even without needing that, get what thing they go tell and say make you do what you go do. So let's be guided. But I'm even also pained for the fact that he went and started deactivating comments on his platform. Why? So you knelt down, greeted the vice president, you took picture of it, and you posted it on your social media platform, and all of a sudden you are deactivating comment. Why? So who would it concern anybody if you decide to kneel down? As in, I don't get it. See, some of you who are even criticizing him, you will do worse. You will do worse if you meet with the vice president today. You will do worse. So let's be guided with all of this thinking and thoughts that because he saw the vice president and knelt down. Excuse me, I beg. If he kneels down, if he lies down, if he rose in the gutter, is it your rolling? Is it your kneeling down? What is it? He's one Igbo person. He decides to do it however he wants. So what's your business? See, if you hate somebody, this is just the thing. If a lot of people hate you, whatever you do, it's nonsense. If it was the video that knelt down, for the vice president, they would be praising him. If he was another Igbo man that knelt down for because it is him and because he has, I don't know why the followership he has is hateful followership. I wonder why. Are you hating on Cubana chief priest? What is it? What has he done to you? Nobody's perfect. Not even you who is vilifying him is perfect. So what the heck? So let's be guided. I beg. This one shouldn't be an issue. Thank you, guys.